All right, everybody. Hey, this is Brad Panovich. I'm at home today. I'm actually off, drinking my coffee, having a nice day at home. I'm off today, so I'm not going to be at work. But we got this huge winter storm heading our way, so I wanted to make sure everybody was kind of familiar with what was going to happen here. So let me show you what's going to happen here over the next 24 hours. I start with our weather page because there will be information on here 24/7, even when you're away from your TV. But I also want to mention one thing up here to the top of the screen right here, this U News section. You got to check this out. Once the winter weather hits, please send me video and pictures. You can update stories on here once you log in, so it's pretty cool. It's user content, user generated stuff that we will use on the air, especially in these winter weather situations. Okay, let's get to the setup for this storm. First stop, this is our surface chart here. I'm going to zoom in real close to kind of give you an idea of the things I'm watching. You see right there, that is an Arctic high, that 1037 millibar Arctic high spilling in across the northern part of the country. Down to the south, there's a 1011 low developing. These two are the main players in our storm system that's going to develop here over the next 24 to 36 hours. Let me show you the water vapor loop. This is a pretty wide view, but this gives you a good idea. There's our trough. That's the surface high coming south. In the upper atmosphere, this looks like a trough swinging down. That's much colder air. Notice the flow straight out of the Arctic. Then down to the south, it's kind of on the edge of the screen, so let me zoom in here for you. You see that tight little area of low pressure. In fact, let me show you a much better view of that. We'll give you a close-in view, and here it is on the water vapor loop. Look at that thing spinning. This is our rapid update water vapor loop over the eastern half of the country, and you can clearly see that little low spinning up over Southern California, diving through Baja, moving into North Texas as we speak. All right, model data. What's going on with the models? Here's a look at what some of the models are doing right now. This is the NAM model, which is the newest one I got in today, and seems to be doing a pretty good job so far and seems to have the best data. One problem with the NAM, this is the snowfall forecast, is it tends to overdo the precipitation, the amount, but it does a really good job with the thermal profile. What kind of temperatures are we going to have? So I'm going to go in real close to the Carolinas here, and you're going to see that is a lot of snow. And I think what's going on here, the model is trying to hint at that southeasterly flow coming up here, producing those eastern facing slopes with more precipitation. To give you an idea of just how much snow that is, here's our chart down here. You see that those let me scroll down so we can see a little better. You see those areas? That's over a foot of snow. Now that to me seems to be a little bit overdone, but it kind of gives you an idea of what the NAM's looking at. Here's the GFS model. GFS, I'm waiting for the next run to come in. It should be a little bit better than this. This is really far north. This was last night's run, the 6Z. I'm waiting for the 12Z to come in. I haven't got it yet. So I'm kind of not looking at this one in particular. But it gives you an idea. There's still a lot of snow, but it hasn't much farther to the north. But the last couple model trends have been farther south and slower, and the GFS has been faster and further to the north. So it seems to be an outlier a little bit right now. Here's a close-in view of the NAM again, which again shows you across our viewing area, western Caldwell, Burke County, Avery County, Watauga County, just getting hammered, Wilkes County, Alexander County. Then you get down closer to Charlotte. I'm going to go in real tight here, and you can see right around Lake Norman, that blue, that corresponds to about 8 inches down there. And then you get into northern Mecklenburg County, you're talking about 6 inches. And then uptown and South Charlotte, you're talking about 3 to 4 inches, and then tapering off towards the South Carolina border. So there would be a very tight gradient. I mean, you go from Pineville with about 1 inch to Huntersville with almost 8 inches. That's a pretty dramatic difference, and goes to show you that's a very small distance. That's less than 25 miles. And a slight shift in the track means 6 inches of snow ends up being 1 inch, or 1 inch ends up being 6 inches. Kind of gives you an idea of kind of the problems that we run into. Now, that's just snow. Let's look at ice. This again is the NAM output of what ice accumulation we're expecting with the storm as it moves across the country. And let me go in real tight here to the Carolinas. The good news for the Carolinas, it doesn't have nearly as much ice as it does to the west. For instance, over the Red River Valley, which looks horrible, that's almost 2 inches of ice accumulation, which would just be crippling for that area here. the ice seems to be further south and east, which is probably an indication that's the transition zone. Further to the north, this is probably all going to be snow or sleet accumulation, but freezing rain is going to be on the southern edge, which means Chester, Lancaster, Eastern Union, and boy, Rockingham, Richmond County, that's pushing an inch of ice accumulation out there, which would be very damaging for a lot of those areas. So that gives you an idea of the ice implications that we could have. I do think there'll be a narrow axis of bad ice, especially on that southeastern side of the storm, wherever the cold air is just a little bit thinner at the surface and not thick enough to create purely snow. So that to me would be a concern, is the ice. I do think part of our area is going to get inundated, but the ice is a big concern right now. Let me go back and show you some of the soundings that we may see in this. Now, this is something we call the buff kit. Most of the meteorologists have seen this before, but let me give you an idea of what we're going to expect. This is a cross section of the atmosphere. What you're looking at on the right here, let me move this into frame. This is the current time, that white bar. The red line is temperature, the green line is dew point, and here's your time scale across the bottom. So you're looking at Friday, 8 o'clock. The blue bars are indicating that the model wants to spit out some snow. Then it has it changing to rain, then back to snow, and then the red is freezing rain, and then the orange is sleet. So you could see this is just a little bit of everything, but that's kind of an overview. I rather look at the sounding itself. So we'll put the sounding in the middle of the screen here, and I'm going to go out into the future, and let's get out to about Friday afternoon. Okay, this is Friday at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. What you're looking at here again, this is the ground. These are in thousands of feet, 15, 20, 25,000 feet. The red line is temperature with height. The green line is dew point with height. And these little cross sections are kind of going to give you a legend for what you're seeing here. So let's go out. Snow. This line right here, which is the 0 degree line, as you go with height, you can see the whole sounding is below freezing. So this is solid snow, and you can see the little icon there says snow. Let's go out another hour. 9 o'clock Friday, snow. Then we get to 10 o'clock. It says rain, but if you look at the sounding, it's right there. It's still isothermal, which means it's pretty much all below freezing. This is still snow in my opinion. This is probably wet snow, still snow. Now we're getting into the area where we may see some rain mixing in or snow. You notice this little blip right here, something we call a warm nose. Stays pretty small though. Starts getting bigger though overnight. By the time we get up on Saturday morning, it's back to snow. But you notice it wasn't very much above freezing, so I think this is mostly snow. Now this is the freezing rain sounding. This thing right here is called a warm nose, which means water's falling or snow's falling, it's melting in here, turning back to rain, then it's falling to the ground, and look at this, this is below freezing right here, which means it freezes back to freezing rain. So as we go out into the future, the surface is actually colder than it is at 7,000 feet. So at the surface, it's well below freezing, below 0 Celsius. But up here at 6,000 or 7,000 feet, it's about 2 degrees above, maybe 3, almost 5 degrees, it looks like, at 7,000 feet. So that's either freezing rain or sleet, because it's going to turn wet here, then probably have plenty of room to refreeze down here on the way down. So you can kind of see the kind of dilemma that we have with this upcoming storm. So right now, my best bet is if you live along or north of Interstate 40, count on snow, maybe big snow. South of Interstate 40, boy, it's anyone's guess right now. But the one thing I know for sure, the entire area is going to be impacted by the storm, and we're probably going to see a winter storm watch issued either later tonight or early tomorrow. So the snow meter right now, I'm going to keep it at a 4. I'll probably update it tomorrow, and we'll have a better chance to kind of get an idea of what's going to happen. But because I'm off today, you won't see the snow meter, but John Wendell and Daniela Lopez will be in there tonight, and I'll be back in the morning. But remember, you can always get updates from me at WCNC.com and on my Twitter feed. I'll keep that going all day as we go throughout the day and into the night, even though I'm off. Got some family business to attend to for the upcoming baby, so we'll be taking care of that tonight. Otherwise, get ready, especially if you live in the mountains, foothills, in northern Piedmont, and be ready for just about anything. It could be a crippling ice storm or a crippling snowstorm, but either way, it will have an impact on your daily life by Friday night into Saturday morning. So get ready, and I'll give you another update as we go throughout the afternoon if it should warrant. But again, follow me on Twitter. I'll keep you up to date there. We'll see you later.